All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Clozer Cult Podcast. I'm your host, Alma Merrill. Today I got my homies, Dean Perry Ward and Aaron Pearson in here.
Howdy.
Oh,
Hey.
There we go. There's our crowd. Say what up. So these guys do real estate like I do. And we're going to talk a little bit about luxury agency. Isn't that what you guys call it, right?
That is what it's called.
Sweet. And we're going to talk a little bit about their history, what they do in real estate. I think you guys will be pleased. All right. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us in, man.
Oh, who's the pup, man? You got the pup in here, too.
Oh, that's Finn. Finn's
Little Finn.
Come here.
He's over there.
Finn's the monster. Finny, come here.
Come on.
Come here.
Finn.
Come here.
Finn, he just hit my camera. Finn.
Finn, come here. Come here.
What is he so scared
He's
about?
taking the whole show.
Is he? Yeah.
Finn. Hey.
Freaking
Come
Finn,
on,
dude.
Come on.
Come here.
Come on.
Lay
Does he hear your phone ringing out? There he is.
Probably.
There's Finn. Freaking Finn, dude. All right, there he is.
There we are. Now we're back.
You know what though? This is
kid.
true. This is true to form.
This is true to form. This is our life.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
All right, so I've known both of you guys for a little while now.
Yep.
Dean, I just married. Now, just for everybody who knows you, you go by Dean and by Perry. So,
Well, there's a story behind it.
all right.
So I ran my own business for 30 plus years, and I've always gone by Dean.
I'm just gonna fix your mic real quick.
Yep.
Okay.
And bottom line is when I started my real estate career, I switched over and started using Perry. So if somebody called, I knew that they were calling about real estate.
Oh, got you.
And then it kind of stuck. So everybody that knows me previous to me starting real estate always knew me as Dean. All my buddies call me Perry Dean. So it's whatever.
right.
I'll answer to anything.
I've attached a Dean as well. That's what I
Right.
call you.
Right.
Have you? All right. Yeah.
That's my name for him.
All right. Dean it is.
Dean it is.
Dean it is. So my middle name is Luke. And when I lived in Southern California, nobody knew what Alma meant, right? They didn't know it was a Mormon prophet name.
Right.
And so when I grew up in Southern California, I went by Luke because in business, everybody's like, Alma, what the hell's Alma? Like, did your
Who's that?
Yeah. Did your parents hate you or something? You know?
Yeah.
So Aaron, dude, you and I go way back.
Way back.
So we've been friends for like what? 10, 15?
15 probably. I remember meeting you out at the Orem office.
Yeah.
The first Orem office.
Century 21.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude, that was wild back in the day. Now let me ask you this: was
Yeah.
that back the Realty Executive days?
No.
Okay, that was.
It was just after I think it was just it was before Century 21 and it was Everest.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Yep.
so before C21, it was just Everest Realty Group,
Right.
and then we just met and chatted it up.
Yeah, I remember
Felt
remember
deeply in love.
I remember listening to you prospect way back then.
There's a lot to love there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Dude, that's how I would describe you, man. It's just fun loving. You're just a fun loving dude.
Yep.
Freaking love hanging out with you. Your
Yep.
birthday, we just had your freaking 45th birthday party the other night.
We sure did. We sure did.
That
Yes,
was
we
freaking
did.
dope. And we had a blast, dude.
It was a good time.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And while we were there, Dean hits me up and he goes, I want you to come be on our podcast. I'm like, okay, you can be on my podcast too.
Yep. Exactly. Fair's fair.
Made it happen.
That's awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about what luxury agency is. And then also I want to talk about Beards on the Street. Is that cool?
Yeah,
bet.
So
absolutely.
Beards on the Street is one of their segments that they do on their luxury agency YouTube channel. And you also, is it a podcast right now? Is Beards on the
is.
Street an actual podcast?
It is.
It is, right? Okay.
Yep.
Because I always watch it on YouTube. So
Right.
I'm kind of the YouTube guy. I like visuals and I like
You
to
and me
look
both.
look at your face and all that shit. So
Yeah. Me as well.
okay. So where is that at on podcast?
Well, we're in the process, and we talked a little bit about this of Buzzsprout.
Okay, right.
we're in the process of getting it all set up on there and then throwing it out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we've got the URL. We just need to put it all together.
Beautiful.
So right now it's just mainly our website and YouTube.
Which is what? beardsonthestreet.com?
No,
Or
it's
what is
actually
it?
the Luxury Agency.
Luxury Agency.
That's where it's
okay.
all under.
Cool. So Luxury Agency has Beards on the Street.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So that's cool, man. That's freaking dope.
And really all it was about was us out interviewing and going and profiling things that we enjoy.
Yeah, and I
A
remember
couple bearded guys out.
because your first couple episodes, you were actually out on the streets.
we do remote.
And you do remote stuff. Okay.
You bet.
So once you guys start moving into that remote stuff, I'll show you some gear that I would recommend
Nice.
for remote podcasting. If you ever want to do like a live remote or a remote recordings, they have
I'd
some
love
really
that.
cool stuff.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
All right, sweet. So tell me about your experience in real estate. Aaron, you first, brother.
Was born and raised in it, really. My dad was a realtor all growing up. My uncle, my family owned a mortgage company, and my uncle was my broker. And I started as a mortgage guy and was no good at it.
Now, are they
And moved
still?
over
Do
to
they
real
still
estate.
do that or
No.
No. Okay.
Nope, they couldn't keep up with all the changes post 08 and all the different overlays and the continual, upgrading of your licensure and all the different requirements. That way, they couldn't keep up.
Right.
They're old school. couldn't hang.
Into the new age, right?
All right.
So how long total in biz
For
you?
27 years in total in the industry.
Wow, dude, that's freaking dope.
Yeah.
All right, gotta give a little horn action there.
Little foghorn.
Dude, I'm feeling pretty horny tonight. You know what I'm saying? All right, and then tell me about you, Dean.
You want to keep calling me
all
Perry.
Perry.
Well, I told you previously I had a business in the motorcycle industry.
Right.
And, I kind of just got burnt out after 30 years and going to all the biggest freaking parties on the planet, Sturgis and Daytona Bike Week and all those. I mean, I was at them every year, twice a year.
Which is freaking badass, dude. I've been to some of those.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
And where are you out?
Yeah, but I got wore out and just didn't want to do it anymore, and all the traveling and just everything that came along with it. So I kind of struggled for a few years trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do because that's all I'd ever done my entire adult life.
Right.
And had a buddy that was doing these high-end luxury real estate auctions.
This is where he came on my radar, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you meet him there, or did you-
I would see his heavy marketing he'd be doing. It was, it's basically what they weren't listed. They were auctions.
Okay.
So what it is, you got these monster houses. So say, here in Utah, you've got a home that's a $20 million home.
Right.
And I mean, you're not going to get $20 million for a house down in Salt Lake City,
Right.
even though that's what it costs to build it. So these homes would labor on the market for 5+ years. And I mean, it just takes there's a small buying pool. So it takes a really specific person to come in and buy that home.
If you undo that one on the right there, Aaron, just just loosen it up. There you go. And then there you go. I just paused it so all the squeaking wouldn't be mic feed. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's check you. Can you hear me?
Oh, no.
Hold on.
I couldn't
Not check. Okay,
now I
cool.
can hear.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine.
Technical difficulties, folks.
So anyways, a buddy of mine was doing these auctions, and I decided that was a pretty cool gig and wanted to do it. So we just roll in. We basically partner up with the agent that had the listing. We would take over the co-broke side of the listing. So the buyer's agent side, or the buyer's agent side of it, we would pay out of the commissions that we got. So that's saving that seller usually at that point 3%, which on a $20 million house is a lot of money.
That's pretty significant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we would get that seller to pony up a big marketing budget. Like Aaron said, I mean, we were marketing it worldwide. I mean, our budgets were $150,000 up.
So is that where you guys came up with the luxury agency branding?
Kind of.
That and my time in Park City, the market up there. And then, quite frankly, the builder we represent, they're in that intro luxury pricing. So,
Right.
I mean, minimum 700,000.
Right.
and up to $1 million, $1.5 million is what we're kind of working with.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean,
Because here in Utah, I mean, there's not a ton of $20 million listings, right? I mean, it's like less than 0.5% maybe, you know, I mean, if that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and up in Park City, it's a different ball game. We all know that.
Right.
But anyways, the long and the short is that, you know, I would sit these open houses and literally in a 4-week period, we'd have 1,000 people come through these homes.
wow, dude.
Yeah,
That is
big
wild.
numbers.
That's
Big
huge.
numbers. So we were collecting the data on all of these people coming through, and guess who got the data?
That's pretty
The
dope.
agent with the listing.
That's freaking sick.
That's a freaking gold mine.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just decided that I just saw that and figured I wouldn't hurt for me to get my license, and if I could pick up a listing or two, and then one thing led to another, and I loved real estate and loved being an agent, and became successful.
When I first met you, I remember I met you upstairs. You were wearing I had the same shirt that you were wearing. Do you remember that? Over
I do.
by Rick's office.
Yep.
And that's when Aaron introduced me to you. And I can remember thinking, dude, this guy, he is like, I can tell you're a gifted agent.
Thank you.
Like, I had no idea you hadn't been doing it for 30 years. You know what I mean?
He doesn't either.
Yeah.
There's actually a really funny story about that. You know how after your first 2 years you have to re-up as a new agent, and you have to take the courses.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I had plenty of CE hours, and I kept trying to re-up, and it kept kicking me out. It wouldn't let me do it. And I called my broker, and he got on there and kept trying to do it. It wouldn't do it. And come to find out, because I forget I was a new agent at the time, that I hadn't taken that new agent course, and that's why it kept kicking me out. So even my broker didn't catch it.
Dude, nobody say anything. All right. Who knows? So were you illegal for a little bit?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't let me re-up it. So I had to hurry up and take that course.
Yeah.
And then I re-upped it.
That's wild, dude. That's funny.
So tell me that's not funny.
Yeah, dude. And then, so you guys, how did you decide, hey, we're going to work together. We're going to partner on this.
We were married.
Yeah, we got married.
That's
We got
freaking
introduced
hot,
and we got married first date. We were. I have a family member builder, Next Level Homes. I've been pursuing him for years and years, but they have just gotten to the point where now they've got an inventory and enough of a business to where they can have somebody full time. And
I was pursuing him, didn't know him.
Yeah, I'm hot on it.
I was pursuing Brandon. He was pursuing Brandon.
Okay.
We didn't know each other.
And that was Brandon's house we went to the other night, right?
Correct.
For your party.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. That's a sick house, dude.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
beautiful. Yeah.
Did
I
you
put
look
a
out
lot
the
into
backyard at all?
Yeah, the backyard was dope, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But basically, Brandon's like, "Hey, we're gonna work together, but come meet this guy." And I'm like kicking the dirt, going to lunch, begrudgingly going to lunch. And I go sit down and I look across, enjoying this guy, and I'm like, oh, "Okay, all right, I like him. Okay." And
I don't want to like him.
we've been partners ever since.
That's
So,
freaking dope, dude.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
a great partnership.
Yeah.
dude, I can see that you guys have a really great partnership, you know, and I think, you know, I look at some of the partnerships I've had in the past, some of them really great, some of them sucked, but partnerships are a lot like marriages, right? I mean, it's a matter of sacrifice and really kind of keeping the relationship in check, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not overstepping bounds or not, you know.
And we're not the same. We have different personalities, and it's he keeps me in check, I keep him in check.
Cool.
He
works.
makes something happen, and I kind of pump the brakes occasionally, right?
He does.
You know what? It's been a perfect compliment, actually, and it's been. Dean, you've been the best addition in the last couple of years of my life.
Thanks, man.
Oh,
For
man.
sure.
Look
You
at
too. I know. Do you have a crying one?
Hold on. Let's see. What do I have? I have that. That's kind of cute.
That's fairy tale.
Let's see. What else do we have? No, I don't. Sorry.
No, that was really, really cute, you guys. Oh my gosh. Feel like I'm on helium. Oh, dude.
All right.
That put a smile on my face.
All right.
You got all the toys over there.
So tell me, so since you guys have been together, you've kind of branded the luxury agency brand. You have the luxury agency YouTube channel. What's like your goal? What's your perspective on where it's going, what you guys are going to do with that brand or with that marketing tool?
Well, come November of 2022, we, up until that point, we were buying, just like a lot of other agents, buying a ton of leads and working them through, had almost 10 people on our team, and we decided to make a change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we offloaded some baggage,
Okay. Does that mean fired some people?
possibly.
Just parted ways. Like, give them the opportunity to
We
do what they
parted.
wanna
Yeah,
do.
it wasn't working. It was just not a good relationship, and that, you know, I'm the kind of guy. I've never held employment in my entire life. A paying
right.
employment job.
Right. You've never had a job or at a JOB.
Right.
You've always been self-operated, right?
Self-operated and self-motivated.
Yeah.
And so it kind of drives me a little bit crazy when you've got somebody that is a person that gets to set up their own income, and they just can't seem to do it.
Right.
So
Well, and it's tough too when you have people that don't have the same vision that you do, right? Like
Exactly.
for your brand or for
Yep.
the future. And,
and that was another part of our split up as well with some of these agents that we had on our team. You know, when they came on, it was based on leads and that whole game. And then we switched, and we are now 100% working on our sphere of influence, or SOI
okay.
based
Cool.
Referral business.
referral, and it's cranking.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, you know, my wife and I just, you know, I'd say probably 4 or 5 years ago got to the point where we can run our business completely off of repeat referral business and survive perfectly fine. It's that next level though that you need to get to, right? That's so what's
I think you can reach that level. Seriously, Alma.
yeah.
With your SOI. You know, our big focus right now is, and you've watched some of our podcasts, but we're calling it our top 50.
Right.
So I've actually went
Meaning
out.
your top 50 people that are your SOIs, your top fans, right? Your
Top fans.
Your raving fans.
That's it, and that's what they are. I mean, it's turned into. I started at the end of November, compiling it and putting the whole system together, and now it's. I mean, I got a 1.6 million listing on my way here.
Dang near every day, getting phone calls with referrals and opportunity.
That's freaking beautiful, man.
Because if you look at it, I mean, think about this. As a real estate agent, I mean, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars buying freaking leads.
Right.
And they're a bunch of people that don't know you, that usually don't like you because you're a salesman in their mind.
Right.
Not a problem fixer.
Right.
You're just a guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That happens to be on the phone with them. They're not interested in helping you. It's all about them, and you better kiss their ass, and you better take names and make sure that everything goes perfectly, or you're the bad guy.
Right. Yeah. But I see that a lot when I'm doing for sell by owners, right?
Yeah.
That's the initial response when you do for sell by owners is
Yep.
like, no, I don't care about you. And that's one of the things I teach is that it's like, look, they don't care about you. They think you're a salesman. They don't give
Yep.
two shits about what your plan is for them or
They
how
don't.
much you want to help them. They only care about themselves and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yep.
So
Would you rather work with that, or would you rather take 50 people in your life that love you, that like you, that will take your call,
Right.
that will return your call,
that will support you.
that will
be your
support you,
fan. Yeah.
that will be your fan, that they want to help you just as much as you want to help them.
Right.
It just, I mean, it's
Let's say I don't have those though. Let's say I'm fresh 23-year-old kid off the plane from my mission to Missouri, right? And I plop down in Utah and I'm a realtor all of a sudden. That's when you go for the cold calls, right? That's when you got to bust through.
Well, you can
right?
build it through your day-to-day interactions. I mean, it's, somebody who serves you well at the coffee shop, or your waitress at the, I mean,
Yeah.
anywhere you receive and you make any type of a connection, pull them in and then cultivate a relationship.
Yeah. I watch, do you guys know Troy Critchfield, right?
Uh-huh.
So Troy, have you ever met Troy, Perry, Dean,
I'm not sure.
Ward? Okay. So Troy,
See, tripping you up.
Troy Critchfield is so good at what you just explained.
He is super social. No
he's
question about it.
super social. Wherever he goes, he's like able to strike up a conversation, have a meaningful interaction, even if it's 20 seconds. And so you're saying you can do that anywhere. You just have to be
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's just, you find out their name, you learn, you're seeing where they're at, you express an appreciation for how they've treated you, and basically you get permission to reach back out. And so it can start with just a phone number and a name.
Right.
And then we're doing monthly socials, mixers. And really what we're doing is building a group of people that want to be around us, that we want to be around. And we're kind of bouncing around to different, whether it's bars or, sports bars, that kind of thing. And we're basically providing a space, and we have a charity that we wrap it around. And
now, what's the charity that you're using?
Each time it's different. So we've done an animal shelter. We did
a coat drive.
Yep.
We did food drive.
That's right. You just finished up a food drive, didn't you? Right.
That was one of our first. We just finished up the Humane Society.
That's right. The Humane Society. That's right.
That was a great one. Our next one, we're working on primary children's.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Do a blanket tie.
Close to my heart.
Aaron?
We're going to do a blanket tie where we're going to have some bolts, and we're going to basically have when you're there, come over to the table and tie up.
Make a blanket.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
And then they're for the kids up at the hospital.
That's freaking dope.
Tell me that's not cool.
You know what's really cool about that? My daughter, Jolie, when she was little, she had just an abnormality on the back of her head. It was on the skin, like a big mole or something looking thing, right? And that made a huge difference. There was a group that had done that and brought blankets, and
stuffed animals, and
yeah, exactly. And we kind of spaced a couple things because we were nervous parents going up to the surgery. We kind of didn't know what to bring, what not to bring, and this is 8 years ago, 7.5 years ago.
And it's a scary time.
Super scary. Yeah. You don't know what to expect. You're hoping she goes through anesthesia good. And I think she was probably a year, maybe she was 1, something like that.
Wow.
And we were scared, we were freaked out a little bit. And so we go up there and they're like, hey, come on in here. And they had it all set up. They walked us in. They gave her a little stuffed animal. She latched onto real quick. Gave her a little blanket, put her in a little wagon, drove her around, got her comfortable with her surroundings. And dude, that means
really
a lot.
Cool.
Really cool.
Yep. I lost a grandson. He was 18 months old. And what gave me the idea was my son had one of these blanket tying things as a charity in remembrance of my grandson. So,
wow.
Yeah, really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
That's right.
So we're going to do that. I mean, we're looking at women's shelter is going to be another one we're going to do fairly soon.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's all about, really.
It's local stuff that we can, do whatever little impact we can. It still will be impactful. It'll be something that our crowds can get behind as well. Our friends will get behind,
and they do.
Yeah, and they do.
Right.
Yeah,
we've had a great response with it.
I like the idea of kind of switching through, from kind of charity to charity. That kind of keeps things fresh, right? A little bit.
Well, it does. And it keeps, that's why we kind of switch up where we do it. And, I've got friends from Logan to freaking St. George. So, we're
moving around the valley, doing it up north, doing it down south.
Trying to not just keep it at one place where,
Right.
We had one at the Piper Down and 2 cats that I haven't seen for 10 or 15 years showed up.
Really?
Yeah, and they drove all the way from Ogden Valley.
Oh my gosh, dude, that is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
you just never know who wants to, who doesn't, who's going to be there and who wants to contribute.
Yep.
Social media, man, it's a magical thing.
It is.
It can be an absolute shitstorm, or it can be a magical thing.
Most of the time, shitstorm.
we choose to make it a magical thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, use it for its power.
Yep, definitely. So now let me ask you guys this. I know that you guys are very goal-oriented guys, right? You
Yes.
consider yourself to be.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals for this year as far as, and I don't mean like production, but like vision? Like by the end of next year, Luxury Agency will be like this.
Top agency or top team here in Utah.
Okay.
That's definitely one of my visions. And I'm not saying all based on volume, based on our exposure to this market.
Okay.
That's what I care about.
We'd like to have a handful of additional agents that have got their groups of 50 going on. I envision us landing in one of these little, sports bars and taking we damn near did it last time.
We did,
but taking over the place. I mean, it really was fun. But it while we're there, it's been fun. So his crowd has been so warm and so warm to me, but inviting and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Getting together, it's fun. Him meeting my people, all of us getting to be friends. I just see that with the people we bring on and giving them the security and the consistency that can come from it. Being able to have their tight grip that we're a part of, that we're helping cultivate the relationship, and basically it's building a tribe.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love that.
Besides that, Alma, we're cool sons of bitches. People want to hang out with us.
I was just gonna say that. Like, isn't it cool? Like, hasn't the market really shifted from suit and tie to personal relationships and rubbing shoulders?
It has. I mean, you saw me a month ago. I had a beard clear down to here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I guess I've always been kind of a rebel. I think it's just my upbringing and just.
Right.
I mean, I grew up in Malad, Idaho. There's not a lot to do, and pretty strict LDS.
Oh, were you
upbringing.
really? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Really strict.
Nice, dude.
So I've always been kind of a rebel, so to say.
Okay.
I mean, I'm inked up on my arms, and you got to remember too, dude. I was in the motorcycle industry for 30 years. So,
yeah. Let me switch your camera real quick. Hold on one sec. Another technical difficulty. I'm just gonna line this up for both of you there.
Okay.
and I'm going to fix this.
I would say the kind of the big vision is being able to operate in this space because you and I come from the same mold. It's prospect, grind, go hunt for the biz every day. Whereas this is so relational and so enjoyable.
It is fun.
It is a lot more fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
doing it that way.
But it's still helping people.
It is.
But it's no longer out groveling, right. chasing.
Right.
It's just it's really being connected to the people we say we care about. I've had a buddy.
We call it flow. We're in the flow.
I have a buddy who I kind of introduced this to, and it was said, "This is what I'm going to do." He's holding me to it.
Really? Yeah.
So calls me 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, we're in each other's lives again. It's big. It's pretty awesome.
Now, are you guys right now? I know you have a team. Are you hiring too?
We are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you guys want to be on a team that is super chill, super motivated, they know their shiz.
And we can teach you how to run your business no matter what the market is.
And that's critical because obviously we're having a ton of changing and there's a lot of scared people right now.
A lot of agents dropped off in the last 5 months.
Right.
With the market, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Not for all of us.
I'll tell you what, with the power of these 50, it's been eye-opening. It's anybody can build this list. It's an ongoing thing. You're in the business, so you can cultivate these relationships, build a list. You can play a role in our system. You can, come in and operate and basically develop into having the kind of system that we have.
And honestly, Alma, you asked earlier, you gave the scenario of a guy that just moved here from Timbuktu and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But the bottom line is I'm confident that I could take anybody and help them come up with 50. Confident. I don't care what it is.
Everybody's got at least 50.
Here's the other thing. You take and say you've got a brand new agent here that just came in from Missouri.
Missouri.
Anyways, you take a guy like that. Well, he's got all that influence down in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping him from still getting referrals on that business and still getting paid a referral fee on all of that business?
In Missouri.
Yeah. While he's building his business out here.
Yeah.
And Aaron talked about, going out and actually actually being conscious and actually opening your eyes and seeing people and taking the time to have conversations with them and find out. I mean, I just got a listing. It's a 2-sided listing. So a sell and a buy. And I was out in Eagle Mountain. Taylor, you're a stud, buddy, if you ever watch this. Popped a tire, brand new tire on my truck, just had them put on last week, hit a piece of rebar. Okay. And so I'm sitting there stranded because if you know anything about trucks, their jacks are shit.
Right, yes.
And this dude pulled up and just said, "Can I help you?" And he lived about 5 minutes away and went and got a floor jack and then went back and got an Allen wrench. And then the dude crawled under my truck and basically changed the tire for me.
That's freaking dope. And you met him and
Met him there.
Now you're doing real
just
estate with him?
started talking to him. This was 2 weeks ago.
He's preparing to list his house. And, well, lo and behold, there's deed.
There you go.
So my point being is if you just put yourself out there and people want it, people cling to cool people that have good lives, that have meaning, that are real, not fake people.
Right.
You know, there's plenty of fake people out there. You know,
Right.
you talk about Facebook and social media, and I mean, it's you know, oh, look at me.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at you, and that's what it's. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Got my eye on you. So yeah, I mean, it's anybody can build
Right.
a top 50.
Right.
Anybody.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If I am a new agent, right, and I come in, because it seems like you have a really good vision for helping new people in the marketplace, right? I think,
You bet.
so let me ask, and being candid, I've always had a really hard time relaying my processes and my vision to new agents. When I have them on my team, they don't last very long because I'm like, get to work, do this, this, and this, you know, let me know when you're done type of thing, you know? Which is funny because when they're on my team, I always feel like it's different than the way that I coach other teams to run their agents, which is hilarious. But I always feel like maybe it's a little more personal. So if I'm a new agent, what's the first thing I do? Like I come into the office, what's the first thing I do?
First thing you do is you make a list of everybody you know.
Okay.
That is number one.
We have a
Number one.
memory jogger that kind of goes through and does that.
Yeah, it's
150
questions that jog your memory to.
Oh, okay.
And-
It's just a
and
piece of
more
paper you
importantly-
give people and
Okay. It's a list that they start with. As a matter of fact, Alma, we've decided that as we're hiring people to come onto our team, they have to do that first.
It's a pre-interview.
It's a pre-interview. Once they've
okay.
done that, then we'll
Will they
sit
take
down
the
and
time
chat
to
with
do
them.
that? Then we'll take the time to talk to you.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you have them write down a list of people that they know first.
That is number one.
That's number one. Then you're like, okay, let's talk about potentially working together.
And then we have a whole system that it literally is a do this, check the box. Do this, check the box. Do this, check the box. And it walks you all the way through the whole system.
Okay.
And Alma, with the frequency of our mixers, that's their next conversation. So they just made a list. In 2 weeks, we have our next mixer coming up.
Simple.
You got to make these phone calls.
Social.
Hey, we're now part of this. This is coming up. Would you want to come? And then you're into flow. There's way more to the system than that. There's it's a questionnaire to learn about who they are, so you can properly stay in contact with birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of stuff. So
Right.
And those calls last a minute, especially if you're calling back. You know, if we hadn't seen each other for 10 years and all of a sudden I'm calling you out of the blue,
Right.
It's going to be a conversation.
Right.
typically it can be up to an hour and plus.
Right.
With those conversations. No, but because you're rekindling
It's true, yeah.
relationships, and
Right.
you're making an acknowledgement that you haven't stayed in contact, and we're going to be doing this more often. And upcoming, we have our next place at Piper Down, and those kind of things.
I freaking love that.
So the bottom line is our goal is, you take this top 50 and our goal is that you're lightly touching them in some fashion or form, minimum of 8 times a month.
Is it
every month.
Is it the same way that Aaron lightly touches me?
Right.
Caress, a lot of
Caresses.
love, a lot of love.
And by lightly touching,
Just
what do
the
you
tip,
mean?
just for a second, just to see how it feels. Kind of touching.
Just to see, just a tester.
Just a tester. That's all.
Whistle.
So tell me this: what is a light touch? If you guys were to describe an actual light touch in the real estate term,
Light touch is
Phone call.
hey, dude, I told you I was going to be calling you back. How are you?
yeah.
What's new? What
Personal letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Invite them to the social.
Okay.
We form a group on our Facebook that's specifically for our top 50.
So it's like come join us at this event rather than, hey, I'm trying to sell some houses. Be a part of my.
It's high engagement. Not talking about. We're not asking for real estate.
You're
It's just-
building trust, right?
exactly.
We're just getting in relationship, man. We're really getting back into
You're
people's
just
lives.
leaning in. You're actually coming with sincerity, and you're going at them with, you're showing up for them is basically what it is.
Right.
And when you show up for people, they'll show up for you. I mean, I've got so many referrals happening right now, and I haven't asked for a single one of them.
Right.
They
it's just-
just want to give it to
It's
me.
being who you are. They see that they want to affiliate
Yep.
with you.
And
on
it's
that level.
the high frequency that we're actually interacting.
See, that's critical, right? Because I see so many agents that do like 1 or 2 things a year, right?
Not even close.
They
to
do a
enough.
movie night on Christmas. They do a whatever on
We're going to do that too, by the way.
right, which you should, right? But this method, because not everybody utilizes this method, and I think it's going to be the funnest and most utilized method in the world, like in
we're
the
gonna
future,
play-
I should say. Because what's that?
We're going to play this year is going to be a year of fun.
We're going to have our best year yet. You talk about goals.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals, and I already know it's going to happen. But it's going to be also one of the funnest years yet.
My biggest year was my funnest year.
Yep.
It was the time that I spent the most amount of enjoyable conversations, hanging
Why'd you
out
stop?
with people, chatting. You know what? I didn't stop. I would say that it's just it's been a process change as I've switched brokerages and I've switched methods of business. It's just an adjustment. That's all it is.
Got it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I stopped. I would say I think because this last year was smaller than the previous year in income, which was it wasn't dramatically different. But I would say that year, I was talking to Jennifer the other day and I was like, man, that was my funnest year. Like we cleared $2 freaking million that year. And my goal was 1 million. And it was the most fun I had ever had in selling real estate.
And look what you did.
And and it was the most fun. And so to that point, I think your point is actually really valid for me because it's like, all right, what did you do different? How did you change it? What did you adjust? And for me, it was changing brokerages and it was switching companies and rebranding myself and all that stuff with Clozer Cult. But also, that's a huge reminder.
But it's still you.
It's still me. Yeah. It's just a
You're the
huge
drive.
reminder to me
Yep.
of what I did to make that year happen and have that joy and that prosperity. So
I would much rather have fun and make a whole pile of money. I would much rather do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I always hear people say like, it's easier to sell 100 homes than it is to sell 10 homes. You guys have heard that before.
Oh yeah.
And it's true because you have all these resources and connections and enjoyment and all this stuff. It's just, you're right though. I love that question. Thanks for asking that question. I needed that question. What's changed or what's different? Because I think I need to get back to those basics on the real estate side of, my daily things that cause those.
Hey, it was your best year yet, and you had fun, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to lean into that.
Yeah. Financially, it was the best year yet.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
and fun, what I think I hear you saying is you helped a lot of people.
A ton.
So you were deeply engaged with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're creating. So it's exciting.
Yeah. And I think it's important. I love to hear different methods, and I'm glad you guys came on because it's fun to hear different methods of how people do these things or what their plans and goals are, because I really think it helps get out of the kind of because I've had this standardized way that I've done business for the last almost 20 years.
We've been hammered a certain way.
Yeah,
We
totally. Yeah, totally. And it's like I see these other people and these other friends of mine that are in the industry doing it a different way, making shit tons of money. And to be able to see their different methods, it's like, yeah, maybe I should do it I really like that. I really like that method and that process.
You know what's fun about what we're doing?
Yeah.
If you go do it and duplicate it, it will not impact what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're our friends and our relationships, and you have your own,
Right.
and it's like there's no scarcity here.
And you know what I've seen happen recently in the marketplace is collaboration over competition has been a huge thing.
I agree.
The conversations I have with agents now on my listings on houses that I'm selling, it's more of a collaboration method than I'm going to beat you out on this and I'm going to stuff you in the grave, and you're going to lose. Well, it's been a lot better collaboration than competing against them, for
that's what
business.
that's really been our relationship. It's been a collaboration. I'm learning from his strengths, and I hope he is mine. But
Yeah, I am.
But my crowd is my relationships are stronger by being in proximity to him.
Right.
And I hope that's what we're going to bring to the people that come on and work with us is they're going to build their 50 and it's going to be leaned on us. And it's going to be leaned on our strengths.
Right.
And it's only going to make us stronger, and the combined cumulative, relationship, the crowd we have, the tribe we're creating,
Right,
is only going to be stronger because of that. So we're going to be strategic. The people we're going to bring on are going to be people we want around us.
Yeah.
They're going to be our friends. It's going to be somebody who wants to just run alongside of us.
Yeah, I love that.
Plus, there's something to be said about, taking either a brand new agent or even a veteran agent that has never really made it big. They've just kind of tooled through the years and eked out a living. There's something to be said about being a part of helping them become successful and become, not just an eker, but an actual baller.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't have to have beards, and they don't have to have. No, honestly,
they don't have to have beards. They don't have to walk around on the streets.
No, beards on the street.
But really, what it is going to be, okay, who are you? How are you? What is your crowd? How can we help you deepen and enrich that relationship? It's fun. It's going to be cool.
Love it. You guys do any in your daily routines? Do you do any meditation or breath work or anything like that?
Every day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. You
Every
too,
day.
Dean?
Not so much me, but I'm starting to.
You're gonna suck him in a little bit, Aaron.
He's starting to suck me in,
he's
but-
going to something tonight with me.
Yep.
Sweet.
To go kind of learn and indulge.
But
in
we
it.
do our affirmations, and it's not just a couple. We write down our affirmation 25 times.
Ooh, love that, dude.
Yep, every day, and we write down 25 gratitudes every day.
We read every day together.
We read every day together.
Most people only do 10. You guys are freaking overachievers over here.
Hey, man, the statistics say you do that for 30 days, and it's ingrained.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing of what you put out, you get back, and I'm a huge believer of that.
I agree.
And
They say basically that you have a recurring thought, or you have a recurring pattern of thinking every day.
Uh-huh.
I think first time I heard it was Bill Pipes, but it was basically you have 70,000 thoughts, and it's a recurrence of 3 or 4.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, and if you pay attention to it, a large part of that is negative.
yep,
It's why can't I do that? What's wrong with me? There's a recurrence there. And by doing what he's talking about, you're taking control, and you're actually being the author of your recurring pattern of thought. So it's installing software.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So-
adjusting so I spoke to the Young Professionals Network the other day, the Salt Lake Board of Realtors. And I talked to them about some stuff that I learned through Tony Robbins, which was changing your state, right? Adjusting your state. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about here, right? Because we all wake up, we all have the drunk monkey in our voice. We all have those things that come to mind and first thing in the morning. And one thing that George Morris always says is you can't, and I don't know where he got it from, but you can't control the first thought that comes into your mind, but you can control the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And so if you're doing that by what you're saying, Dean, is by putting the thoughts in your minds, identifying your gratitudes, identifying what you're thankful for every day. How does that adjust your day from waking up and maybe you had a shitty night or you had a hangover from Aaron's birthday party or and you just need to adjust so that you can perform on a high level? How do you adjust for you guys? How do you adjust your thinking or your mindset?
a lot of it is one thing I was blessed with from God is
Your beautiful wife.
my beautiful wife.
She's smoking hot, by the way.
Yes, she is smoking hot. One thing I was really blessed with is a positive onward and upward attitude. And it's always been, you know, I've talked about it my entire life, and it's there's not a whole lot that can twist me around and drag me down. Not much at all.
That is
one
a blessing.
thing. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about you, man, is that you have a very strong, you know, direct personality, and then you have a very ingrained kind of character that is a high level character.
Positive.
It's
positive.
It's not negative. It is positive.
Yeah.
Just it's easy to be positive.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if there was a negative twist to this? You couldn't avoid it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
You couldn't avoid it.
It's you ask that question, and it's a hard question for me because, I mean, I wake up every morning and go,
yeah,
F yeah, man, I made it another day. Perry Dean's older. And it starts out like that. It's a good day. I'm not a snooze button hitter. My alarm goes off and I get out of bed. I go get my wife a coffee every single morning, and dude, it's just life's good.
Start your day with gratitude, and then you serve her, right? You go serve her.
I do every morning.
That's freaking beautiful, man.
Yeah. So that's a hard one for me to answer because it's not. I don't. Maybe that's why I'm not.
This activity is a conscious. It's an absolute conscious. You're programming it.
I am.
The 25 affirmations every day. It's a present statement of how you're going to operate, who you're going to be.
So my affirmation right now is I enjoy helping 4 clients monthly. That's what I write 25 times a day. I started probably 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, because I do it for 30 days and then switch it.
Right.
And right now, under contract, I have 8 or 9 that I'm working with.
That sucks, man. That's terrible.
Sucks. It's horrible.
It's
and
amazing
multiple are 2 and 3 deals,
right,
in one deal.
Which is freaking beautiful.
It is awesome.
And you know what's great about that is that I know where the price points are on those.
Seriously.
I mean, with the market the way it is right now, it's just a beautiful thing. Like everything you get under contract is a freaking gift in this marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's awesome. So, I mean, that's my affirmation, and it's ingrained in me. And I know 4 doesn't sound like a lot. I didn't want to make it something that was ridiculous, and you know, half the time when you're writing it down, you're going, well, I really do hope I hit this or
right,
whatever it is. It's
you know what,
I'm crushing it.
What I typically find is that when I write a goal that I know that I can actually put some effort into and achieve, not one that's outlandish, because a lot of people are like, no, make your goals ridiculous. Okay. There are some goals like having the jet and the yacht that I have. Okay. Those are my long-term goals. The ones today need to be attainable today. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Let me tell you what the best thing about a yacht and a boat is. I mean, a yacht and a plane.
Yeah.
When your buddy has them.
He enjoys those things.
You guys can come over and join me, dude.
I want you to succeed. I can't wait for you to get that plane and that yacht.
You know what I don't want? I don't want a freaking ski boat, dude. I learned that right away.
No.
My cousin has one.
You need to come and boat with me, dude. Yeah. It's big boats. We tie them off, and literally, I'll pull on the water on Friday, and I don't move the boat until Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, see, that's beautiful. Is that Lake Powell? You guys go to Powell?
Wherever there's water.
Powell and Havasu, huh?
I'm doing a development down in Havasu. I'll have to talk to you guys about.
Heck yeah.
It's pretty wild. So
awesome.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Any last words that you would give the audience? Let's say in the method of, okay, I want to choose a team to get on. What would you say?
I'd say come and check us out, man. We've got a lot to give, and we care, and we call it our family. It's not a team; it's a family.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we are looking for some good people. Specific, we want to hang out with and enjoy. We'd love to help work somebody through the process of growing into this. And like I say, there's opportunity. I mean, this weekend we have several open house opportunities. So we need agents to be able to set those. Those are immediate opportunities to get now clients,
now buyer leads, and everything.
You bet.
Yeah, and work in the real estate activity, and And there isn't a thing that either of us probably have gone through in a transaction. So,
Right. Because of the amount of experience you guys have had.
right.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, luxury agency, Beards on the Street. Check him out on
That's right.
YouTube and soon to be on all the podcast platforms, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Dean and Aaron, guys, thank you so much for being
For
on.
having us.
Thanks, Alma.
Guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Clozer Cult Podcast. We'll see you guys.